Hi dear friends, and today we'll have a bit philosophical topic about tea. My name is Sergey, I'm the founder of Moychay, and now I'm in Yunnan on the Mai mountain, and we, during our tea travel, just harvested ancient trees Shenpur today, and I especially drink completely opposite tea, which is aged Tie Guan Yin oolong. And I want to talk a little bit about the tea philosophy, or maybe tea path, Chadao, what we often hear this term, and many people also hear this term, and they consider it as an important representation about what's actually the tea mean for the person who decided to spend some significant amount of time on bringing tea to your life. Because we have different levels of going into all of this Gunfu Cha, or let me say tea ceremony, or tea tradition, or tea culture, let me say. And for me all the time it was a little bit more philosophical question, why doing that and what's actually meaning the tea for me. Because I'm a tea entrepreneur, we do a lot of projects and I do a lot of practical things about tea, but what's actually tea meaning for you as soon as you just drink tea a lot and you just spending a lot of time with that, and not necessarily you do some kind of business with tea, we just maybe love it, enjoy it. And for me, I all the time was curious about, is there a kind of a limit of my interest to contribute more to tea? Is there a kind of something when I just became a little bit bored about it? Because I'm with tea maybe almost more than half of my life, like 20 years. I'm drinking tea all the time, and maybe more than 17 years I do something more professional in tea, like tea business, and also blogging, also traveling, also producing, and whatever I'm doing with tea. For me, actually, as soon as you go deeper, and as soon as you didn't lost this kind of curiosity about tea, I think that really means that you are a real kind of tea person. You are the one who wants to learn all the time, constantly learn, constantly develop your skills, your knowledge, your understanding of the product, your understanding about history and how to produce tea, how to make it more better, what you can do out of it, what you can perform with tea, how you can find new teaware, new ways of brewing, new stories behind the cultures. Like now I'm drinking on this fabric, which is actually traditional Hani minority hand-sewed part of a decoration. It's also part of clothing of the women of Hani minority, which belong to Bulanshan mountain, and they are spread at many mountains here in Yunnan province. I just find out that during the years you constantly developing this interest, and this interest I never lost. I never had feeling like it's too much, or I'm bored, or it's not already interesting a lot, because you have so broad layers, so big amount of topics inside the tea, and the more you know, the more you understand, I know nothing, I need to learn. And I think maybe the main thing I learned is I'm trying, it's very difficult to be actually, honestly say, because as soon as you have significant knowledge about something, you still consider, maybe I'm already on some level of knowledge. I can be confident about certain details in tea culture. I can be confident about certain practical guidelines for technology of tea production, or for brewing styles or techniques or types or history or something. For sure you can be confident about something, but still the more you know, the more you see like some steps a little bit off-road from the mainstream, or some steps a little bit out of certain confidence. That brings you even more passion about tea, because as soon as you know the basics, you know how to deal with the exclusions from the rules, exclusions from certain guidelines, because so many people like to share these guidelines. Okay, we need to do it this way, that way, all must be done like this or like that. Or some people just have some kind of knowledge and they immediately start spreading it as a number one priority or number one certain fact about something. I also am not exclusion from this rule. I also do share some knowledge for sure, because as soon as you know something, you want to talk about it. But all the time I try to be like a little bit fluid in my understanding and my sharing about certain facts, even about production or about the history or about the understanding of tea, because as more you know, as more you see that different angles on the same topic inside the tea you have. This is why I say not so directly now, a little bit more abstract, because it actually, we can say it regarding to any part of tea culture. It can be how to brew the tea properly. Okay, we have so many ways how to brew the tea properly. And the main way is the way which you create the atmosphere for your guests, and guests enjoy the tea, and you enjoy the tea, and tea is tasty and beautiful. That's the best way to do it. It means that you already maybe achieved some goal of mastership. The same with the tea technology. We have some guidelines, we have some rules, okay, but still, the more I know real professional technologists, the more they learning from themselves, from other technologists, how to experiment sometimes, how to change and adapt their techniques depending of what kind of material they have, what kind of culture they work with. For example, like some technologists not only work on one factory, but they change the factories, and also the new cultivars appear and new ways of production also appear all the time. All the time. For example, we can say like traditionally in some area was all the time a production of white tea. And nowadays they start producing also black tea or red tea. Or all the time they're producing like only shampoo. But more people start also only producing white tea from the same material. And it means that they need to learn all the time how to make it perfect and how to make it closer to their kind of standard or what they want to achieve. Only through this constant learning you will still have only part of this absolutely enormous mosaic of knowledge about tea, because even if you talk only about China, even if you talk only about certain regions of China, there are still so much deeper layer of understanding it. And this is why I'm all the time trying to be curious. So what I'm all the time trying to learn from it, it's to be on this path, to don't be on a track, but be on the path. Because when you're on a track, it means that you need to kind of follow someone's narrative or agenda or guideline. That's good, especially in the beginning. But as soon as you know a little bit more, you also try to look at things a little bit more humbly. And this is the biggest thing in developing your understanding of the tea or some other very deep aspect of culture, is to be humble. And this I really appreciate a lot in other people, and also try to build up in myself, especially in terms of what I was done, or what I know about something, and how do I ready or not ready to learn. It's very difficult, but it's when you achieve this, you feel better after, let me say. Great tea. This is a Tie Guan Yin from about 15 years ago, traditionally charcoal roasted one. And maybe the last thing about tea puff generally, or tea culture and chadao, how we can say, it's constantly drink tea. Because as soon as you don't drink tea, or you limit yourself and okay, I drink only shen, or I drink only that, or I drink only this, it means that you're still losing a little bit the general development of the tea. It doesn't mean that you can drink anything and people have their own preferences for sure, and that's great, but I never limit myself. As soon as I know there is some tea which is produced naturally, which is loose leaf tea, which gives bigger, richer aromas and fragrances, At least from curiosity, at least I try it once, even if it's not my cup of tea for certain personal reasons. But what I find out that as soon as you have good material and it's organic farm, or it's ice in trees, or it's something that people are really curious and really caring about the garden and about the technology, it's all the time interesting tea. Even if I'm not a big fan of green tea, but now we just make a green tea from ancient trees of Moychay, and it's wonderful green tea. The same with any other type, which before I was not so big fan of. And also the other way, let me say, direction of curiosity, I think must be or might be in a direction of knowledge about, difference inside your favorite, let me say, subtype or several favorite groups of teas. For example, you like red tea and people just, okay, I drink this, and you don't search for new. You just kind of, okay, I like it, and I have certain level of knowledge. And as soon as you didn't synchronize the source, it means that you, after even 2, 3, 4 years of your kind of stuck knowledge, you're already a little bit outdated if you're in the current state of this knowledge, because it's developing so fast. It's developing very fast, especially if you talk about the new technology or new types or new cultivars, or changing the geographies of certain or some practices of fermentation or whatever. It all the time developing, it all the time something new, and it's all the time something completely, absolutely amazing, let me say. Because I can't even name the number of discoveries I do during each travel, whatever. Even if I go to the same time for, I don't know, 20th time, I still see something new. So as soon as you maybe was in China 5 years ago or 10 or whatever, you heard something from someone who was there kind of long time ago, and you was like in certain regions and you'd never visited some other regions, it means most of the time your knowledge is a little bit outdated. Not fully, but a bit at least. It doesn't mean it's not true, it means that there are some new things already happened, which are different from the knowledge you had before. This is why it's so important to know, and if you have certain, goal. For me the goal is to be in a product and to know everything about the product, the origin, and how to create and how to produce. It means this is why I spend half of my time in Asia, or maybe sometimes a bit less, but still a long few months a year at least. And this is only the way to develop this knowledge. The same with brewing, with the styles. And I want to brew perfect tea. The practice, you just do it each day, constantly. And this also brings you more understanding, and share it. Don't hesitate to ask other people, how is my tea? What do you like about it? And don't ask yourself, ask your friends, your family, how do they feel it, as if they share your tea together. So this is how you all the time develop your masterships and your curiosity. And this never-ending process, actually. I think no one can achieve the final goal. This is something about the process and about life. This is why it's called tea path, not something which is never stops. I hope you like it, and wish you all the best. Good day, good evening, or whatever you have. Now, drink good tea, enjoy it, let it bring peace and calm to your life. I think the tea is a great tool for many things, from socializing to mindful practices, from being curious about taste and fragrances, or being curious about culture and aesthetics. That's a great thing to do. So have a nice tea and good luck.